I don't know about you, but when I hear the term stress management, I immediately think of all of my jobs where I felt stressed out thanks to management putting more and more work on us. But that's enough already about my trauma. Today, I'm sharing 5 simple ways to tackle stress with simple stress management techniques that you can begin applying immediately. So let's talk about stress. Hi, I'm Jeremy Godwin, and I talk about looking after your mental health with simple advice based on quality research and personal experience from someone who actually understands what it's like to go through mental health challenges. So, stress describes the feeling that we have when we're under pressure or feeling burdened by things going on in our life. And it's not all bad because in small doses, stress can actually be a motivator. If you speak to any athlete, actor, or professional musician about their process for getting ready, they'll probably describe the rush of adrenaline and nerves that they kind of need to work through, and which they might then channel into their game or performance. That's an example of good stress, which can actually be a motivator. And we all have a little bit of stress in our lives that serves to push us and move us forward. Otherwise, we'd probably never get off the couch. However, when stress gets out of control and you feel constantly nervous or on edge, then it can be utterly exhausting. And if it goes on for more than just a few days or weeks, then it can also cause long-term damage to both your mental and physical health. Prolonged stress, which is usually 2 weeks or more, is that kind of get your butt to the doctor level of stress. But there are lots of things that you can do every single day that will help you to tackle stress at work and at home. Starting with, consider your mindset. Because if you're a hopeful and optimistic person, then you're certainly not immune to stress, but you are more likely to manage it well if you're able to look for the positive in things, rather than always becoming hung up on the negative. Even your body actually responds well to optimism, and I've included a link in the description to an article about the physical effects of optimism on our bodies. Beyond the scientific evidence, it's pretty much common sense when you consider it, because how you choose to think has a direct impact on how you feel. Look, it's not a magic pill, however, and as I already mentioned, optimistic people aren't immune to stress. But let's be clear that your mindset and what you choose to focus on in your life is a very big starting point in dealing with stress. Personally, I believe in realistic optimism, which is when you know that life does have its challenges, but you're hopeful for the future and believe that things can and will get better, because then you'll be much more likely to look for the positive in things or want to push yourself past any obstacles that you might encounter in order to then get where you need to go. Okay, next, be proactive about taking care of your well-being. And by that, I mean all areas of your well-being: physical, mental, spiritual, social, emotional, and financial. My point here is to actively take care of yourself every single day and do things that serve to maintain and improve your well-being, like eating well, getting plenty of sleep, dealing with your emotions, maintaining healthy relationships, and more. One of the things I say a lot in my videos and in my podcast is that prevention is better than cure, because if you're looking after yourself, then you're going to be much more able to deal with challenges more easily if and when they arise, because the fact is that we all have to deal with difficult times every now and then. In the words of American motivational speaker Brian Tracy, set peace of mind as your highest goal and organize your life around it. One way to help you do that is with my next point. Focus on what is within your control, because you can only control yourself. In other words, what you do and say, as well as what you choose to do with your feelings. Everything else is completely out of your control, and that includes other people. We spend a massive amount of time stressing about things that we can never hope to have any direct control over, no matter how hard we might try. Sure, you can influence other people and events, but you can only ever control you and what you do or do not do. So if you're not happy with the way that things are, it's up to you to change what you do and say. End of sentence. I mean, it'd be lovely if we could just change people or situations to be the way that we want them to be, but life doesn't work that way, which is a good thing, because otherwise we'd have no free will. And the sooner you accept that you can only control yourself, the better off you'll be. It actually makes things way less stressful when you let go of trying to control things that you can never control. Okay, next, talk to someone. And this might seem like a really obvious piece of advice, but you'd be surprised how often we fall into the trap of thinking that we just need to put our heads down and solve our issues on our own. Guess what? You don't. You don't have to deal with stress alone, and nor should you. Talk to someone that you trust. Often a good conversation with a close friend or family member can be just the release that you need, and it helps you to get things off your chest so that you can then start to process your way through whatever is going on and how to address it. And ask for help if you need it. The idea of opening up to someone might make you want to crawl under a rock, but you don't have to go through things on your own. So why would you choose to carry that burden on your own? Seeking help really can assist you to look at things from a different angle and maybe even come up with solutions that you might never have thought of on your own. You don't need to go it alone, seriously. Okay, next, take a break when you need it. Because even just a couple of hours off or a couple of days to relax might be exactly what you need to recharge your batteries if you feel stressed and work through how to tackle whatever is causing your stress. So allow yourself some time to just be and unwind. Our go culture really seems to look down on taking time out, but we need to recharge on a regular basis. And in fact, that time away from doing stuff is what helps our brains to process things more effectively. Oh, and you know how I said earlier about being proactive with your well-being? Please make sure that you take your annual leave or vacation time on a regular basis. And when you do take time off, remember that time away from work means that you get to stop answering calls and emails. So choose to switch off fully in order to properly de-stress. The choice is yours, as it is with all things related to your well-being. So, what choice will you make today? Let me know in the comments below. And for even more simple ways to deal with stress, watch this video next where I share healthy coping mechanisms for stress. Click the link to watch it now. And find even more advice on my weekly podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. It's linked in the description below. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time.